Hey YouTube, today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Iron Man 2, and just so you know, there's going to be spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, don't watch this video yet. Also, two more warnings. There is a tremendous thunderstorm, so if you hear any thunder in the background, I apologize, can't help that. Secondly, I am going to geek out, so I apologize if you don't know comic books, just try and hold on tight for me. Okay, first of all, Iron Man 2 the movie, slightly different from the first one because there are a lot more subplots going on, there's more action scenes, and there is a more clear villain to fight. That being said, I didn't think it was overwhelming, I thought it was just fine. As far as the special effects goes, my mom, I took her for Mother's Day, and she gets motion sickness, and it bothered her a little bit. Like, she got a little nauseous because of all the flying around and the just like the first person camera stuff and anything like that. So if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, you might want to think about going to see this movie in the theaters. Maybe wait until you can rent it on the DVD, because you still need to see it. It's a good film, but be careful about that. Okay, let's start with some character analysis. First of all, Tony Stark, Iron Man, played by Robert Downey Jr. I love him.
Mr. Stark displays textbook narcissism. Agreed?
He is a very egotistical douchebag, but he's the kind of asshole that you have to like. And I don't know how to explain it, but all you nice guys that say nice guys finish last and girls always go for the douche, in this case, yes, I would totally go for the douche. I love Tony Stark. I think Robert Downey Jr. does a fantastic job with that character, and his snarky sense of humor really brings a lot to the film, and the lines just wouldn't work if it wasn't him, I don't think. I think they did a really good job casting. I'm glad that he is back. Moving into his relationship with Pepper Potts, his assistant, played by Gwyneth Paltrow.
You know, there's only about 8,011 things that I really need to talk to you about.
In the first movie, there was a kind of romantic interest. It's still there, but it's really strained because all of the bad stuff is happening. The company's falling apart, so he makes her the CEO. Smart move. Oh, wait. It's because he's dying. Side note. So, he's dying, so he makes Pepper his CEO, and she freaks out because she's stressed and having to save the company. And so there's this strain on their relationship. Not to mention, there's a new character played by Scarlett Johansson, who is gorgeous.
I want one.
No.
Okay, so she comes in as another assistant person, I suppose. So her name is Natalie Rushman. However, Natalie Rushman is actually Natasha Romanoff, who is actually Black Widow from S.H.I.E.L.D., from the Avengers. They never actually mention her name. They never say Black Widow in the film, but that's the comic book equivalent. She's Black Widow. And she has some killer fight scenes, and her, like, sexy, I don't even know what it is. But let me tell you, Scarlett Johansson is hot in this film. And I happen to know a girl who looks a lot like her, and I saw the movie with her. She was sitting in the row in front of me, and so I often leaned in and told her how great she looked. Her name is Abby. Shout out to Abby Edwards. Anyway, so, yeah, Black Widow, they never mention it. Also, another sort of sidekick thing going on is Rhodey. He was played by Terrence Howard in the first movie, but in this movie he's played by Don Cheadle.
I'm only going to say this once. Get out.
And I don't know how I feel about it. I really liked Terrence Howard in the first one. And that's not to say that Don Cheadle didn't do a good job, because he did, but, you know, they're completely different actors. And I felt like Terrence did more of a comedic buddy-buddy type thing, and Don was more of he's a lieutenant. He's very military, and yeah, I'm still friends with Tony, but I need to be, you know, straight and narrow, which is, I mean, it might be a director's choice, or it might be just because they're so different with the acting, but personally, I preferred Terrence. I don't know why he didn't sign a contract for the second one. I haven't looked into it, but there you go. Our new villain, played by Mickey Rourke, who, personally, I can't stand to look at him. I think he is one of the most hideous human beings. And I understand that he had plastic surgery and then got messed up or something, but, and then they give him gold teeth and all these, like, prison tattoos. And he's scary. He's really scary. And this is where the comic book gets confusing, because his name is Ivan something. He's Russian. And that is a name taken directly from the comic book. And he's also the Crimson Dynamo, which is like the Cold War Iron Man, but they use the Whiplash suit. So Whiplash is another character, so they combined Ivan, Crimson Dynamo, and Whiplash and like balled them together and threw Mickey Rourke in there, and then that's what you have. So the suit was cool with the whips and everything. I was confused by the fact that he could cut through things with it, like the cars, he would cut through a car, but then when he went and hit Iron Man with it, it didn't cut through him, it just like wrapped around him like a bullwhip or something. So that confused me a little bit. I don't know if that's just editing or whatever. And then we also have another sort of villain type, Justin Hammer, I think his name is. And he's like the Stark competition. He's another inventor, weaponizer thing. And that's played by Sam Rockwell. He does a really, really good job of being just a little prick. You want to punch this guy in the face. And funny thing about Sam Rockwell, he looks so different in this movie. I think my mom said it was something about he looks different depending on his hair. But he looks just different. He looks kind of like Dana Carvey.
Aww.
But, anyway, so he's just really obnoxious, and when the police pull him away for being involved with Ivan, he makes a statement towards Pepper, how you haven't seen the last of me, blah, 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 so they're setting it up for a sequel. That was also mentioned by, John Favreau, sorry. He plays Happy Hogan, which is like their bodyguard, driver, assistant guy, and he is so funny in the film. But he's also the director. He directed both Iron Man movies, and in an interview he mentioned that they are working on another Iron Man. They're going to have an Iron Man 3, but that's going to be after all of the other Avenger films. In the film, they have a thing where they pull out a shield, and it's the Captain America shield, and they don't really mention what it is, but every comic book person knows, oh my gosh, that's the Captain America shield. It was really funny, so we know that one's coming. And then at the end, the Easter egg clip at the end of the credits was one of the SHIELD agents finding Thor's hammer. So we also know that that movie's coming up. So we'll have a Thor, we'll have a Captain America, and then eventually an Avengers film, and then Jon Favreau said, then we'll have an Iron Man 3. Look for the new comic book movies coming up, so it's Thor and Captain America and the Avengers. See, recapping, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. They did a really good job of using the comic book, and like another thing they added is they used the suit, the Iron Man suit, as a briefcase, which is how he carried it in the comic book. It was a briefcase, and then he just steps on it and it comes up into the suit. And previously they didn't have that in the first movie, but this movie they did. They had that as a briefcase. And like I said, they had the Captain America shield and the Thor's hammer. So they're really tying in all of the comic book stuff. You know, they're bringing in new characters, like Justin Hammer is in the comic books. Natasha Romanoff, or Black Widow, is in the comic books, and then Whiplash, Crimson Dynamo, all those things in the comic books. So they're really doing a great job of bringing it all together, and the special effects are really good, the storyline is great, Robert Downey Jr. is hilarious. I give it a 5 out of 5. Go see it. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know if you agree with me, what you thought of Iron Man. Maybe do a video response of your own review. Let me know of any other movies you'd like me to review, and I will catch you later. Peace.